Good afternoon. My name is Wangare Mwangi. I represent the Law Society of Kenya in the fight against terrorism. I am the Vice Chair, LSK Nakuru chapter, and I am representing our chapter and also our branch in this forum. And I am in the law enforcement pillar, which I believe it cuts across all other pillars, and we are working in collaboration with all of them. Our main point and the reason as to why we have been involved in this forum is essentially to fight for human rights. Terrorism cuts across, and according to the Constitution, the right to life is key. And this forum has enabled us as LSK come up with pointers, come up with ideas on how to best protect human life. Our agenda is mainly to work with the county government of Nakuru, and we're also working closely with IPOA. We are working closely with the prisons department, even the NGAF, that represents the chiefs, the Nyumba Kumi initiative, and they are very helpful. Our main area of reaching out to the society and mainly to fight terrorism is we have a legal awareness every year. And despite the legal awareness, where we offer free legal advice, that is coming up in some time in September. We have partnered with MIDRIFT. We are also working closely to host a tournament that will capture the youth in Nakuru East, Nakuru County. And the main purpose of the tournament is to engage as many people as we can so that we can get to hear their side of views. Under the Nakuru LSK chapter, we have committees. We have the Children's Committee that works closely with the Parents Association, the schools, and the main purpose of that committee is to safeguard the rights of children. So LSK is a major partner, if I could say that, and the law enforcement and even the judiciary is also involved. It's unfortunate today we do not have a representative from the judiciary. However, we work closely even with the magistrates and the judges because the justice sector cuts across. It cuts across the ODPP, the LSK, the judiciary, the prisons, and the community at large. Because if we do not collaborate together, then we have no chance of helping the youth and mostly the children who are being radicalized into terrorism, so that we can protect them and so that we can even look after them and fight for their rights. Under the LSK and under the laws of Kenya, the constitution is a grundnorm. That means it is the umbrella of all laws. And once the constitution is not being followed, or once we do not follow constitutionalism, then the rule of law has no place. And there is the Terrorism Act that is under the laws of Kenya, and it has provided penalties. And actually, terrorism under the Penal Code and under the Criminal Procedure Act is one of the offenses that carries a mandatory sentence under the laws of Kenya. So it is not a small offense, neither is it an offense we can just dismiss and say because one of us is not being affected, then we are not going to fight. Because of the nature of the penalties and the sentence that comes with these acts, it is necessary that we as LSK uphold the rule of law, and it is necessary that we also educate the members of public to follow the constitution. And if there is a crime, please report. And that is why LSK and the police are working closely together so that we can help the members of the public to make the report, and then thereafter the LSK follows that up and we take it to court, and if there are acts of terrorism, LSK will be there to defend the victims and to help the state in watching brief.
My name is Linda Kagia, heading the economic pillar under the Arrive projects. The economic pillar, so far we have reached about 400 youth, at-risk youth and ex-convicts, whereby we have capacity built them on matters of financial literacy, table banking, and other opportunities both in private sector and government. I'm happy to report that We met with the first group that we trained in November last week, and this group, from the reports we got from them, some of them have started the groups. They're initiating the legalization of these groups through our partners, that is Women Enterprise Fund, Micro Social Enterprise Authority, and other organizations that we are working together with at Economic Pillar. And apart from that, we had one group that was given a sugar cane juice maker, whereby they reported that currently they have a savings of 20,000 in their account. So we are encouraging these youth at risk and ex-convicts to continue for legalizing their groups and taking opportunity of the small ideas of business ideas and other opportunities that we are sharing with them, with other partners, that is Kenya Association of Manufacturers, government institutions like Women Enterprise Fund, NGAF, Youth Fund, so that they can improve their businesses or make their business ideas to come to reality.
Yeah, so my name is Helen Wangaringige. I'm a teacher at Kimathi Secondary School, and in this project, I'm the Education Pillar co-chair, and we have been having activities in schools, and especially in peace clubs. We've been reinforcing and strengthening the peace clubs so as we can create awareness and sensitization to the learners concerning violent extremism. We realize that we have security issues in our schools, and most of us don't know how to identify and handle the cases. So in this case, we want to create more awareness for the learners so that we can reduce the pool of those who are vulnerable. We find out that there are some issues like poverty and GBV, which makes them to be vulnerable. And in that case, we are trying to address that. And we have also partnered with the Kenya National Drama and Films Festival. We are going to have the activities this term. They have already started, and therefore we'll be awarding those items that have the messages on preventions and countering violent extremism. And also in the music festivals, we'll have the items. So we are trying to create awareness and sensitize these learners such that when they are aware, they'll not be vulnerable. So we are also engaging with other schools, whereby we will have debates and talks around the same, such that these learners are also able to contribute and come up with solutions to these problems, the security problems that they are having. So far, we have partnered with the law enforcement pillar, whereby we have some of the chiefs coming to schools to address the learners on the security issues. So they normally attend parades on Mondays and Fridays. And we have seen that this has had impact, because once the learners are aware, then they will avoid those areas that maybe might lead them to engaging in criminal gangs activities, and end up engaging in productive ways of maybe countering the same. Thank you.
So my name is Kyoko Wakivandi. I am a journalist here in Nakuru. I work at Egerton University as a journalism trainer. I have been part of this process as one of the key stakeholders that are partnering with other like-minded persons and organizations in coming up with strategies and also implementing them in trying to see how we can prevent and counter terrorism and extreme violence in Nakuru County. It is important to note that, yes, while Nakuru County has not been a victim of a real terror attack It has been, in the past, it has been a playing ground for organized crime groups, and we can name quite a number of them. It's exciting that in the first few months, we have not seen quite a real clash of those groups and activities of those groups. But that does not mean that we are out of the woods. Just recently, we saw what one may want to describe as a misuse of those very members of such groups, and therefore then these activities and the strategies that we are coming up with in this project and implementing are very important, that we should never relent. We should never say that we have reached the target, because the recruitment into these organized crimes groups is usually a continuous process, so we never stop. So then, as the media pillar in this project, then our role is first of all to, on a proprio motu basis, to come up with our own stories, come up with our own narratives, of course, to counter the narratives of terrorism and extreme violence, of course, that are perpetrated by other groups, whether those formulating those narratives are in Nakuru or not. At the end of the day, is that those narratives have a way of penetrating through different communication channels and getting to our people. That's one. And the second one is also to help in disseminating information about the whole project, and also about what these other pillars are doing. So whether it's the economic pillar, what they are doing, we come and help in telling their story. Because if, for instance, we tell the story of how the economic pillar, for instance, is working with stakeholders to see to it that a certain economic activity or project is being implemented in order to reduce the vulnerability of our young people, then that in a big way helps in countering terrorism and extreme violence. So that's mainly what we do. It's important to note that one of the key government stakeholders in this, of course, is the media regulator. That's the Media Council of Kenya, with whom in the recent past we have organized some meetings. The most recent one was last week, where we had an online engagement. We just select a number of journalists, just test how well we can be training journalists online on matters prevention and countering extreme violence. Then in about a week or two, we are going to have another training which shall be open to all journalists in Nakuru. Up to and actually, even in the training we held last week in the Media Council of Kenya, I need to insist that we are not just working with the quote-unquote journalists as defined by the MCK Act. We are also working with the content creators, bloggers, and so on, to just make sure that anybody who has a platform of information dissemination can be involved, because that is exactly what we are looking forward to, the dissemination of information. So in about a week or two, we will be engaging with NCTC, that's National Counterterrorism Center, for another engagement which will be broad, and any other person involved in information dissemination, be it journalist, be it a content creator or blogger, will be invited to take part. That is what I would say.